In 1990, child prodigy Christopher shocks a professor by acing a test that took Einstein 3 days to complete. Encouraged by his older sister, Michelle, he prepares to attend university ahead of her to change the world. Meanwhile, tensions rise between humans and robots. For years, robots have handled undesirable jobs, but now they demand rights and freedom. Led by Mr. Peanut, they stage a massive protest in St. Louis, declaring, "Our destiny isn't for them to decide, it's for us to fight for." A brutal war erupts, leaving the world in ruins as robots gain the upper hand for 2 years. Everything changes when Ethan Skate, CEO of Center, develops the Neurocaster, allowing humans to remotely control robotic drone bodies. This turns the tide, and the robots are ultimately defeated. Mr. Peanut surrenders to US President Clinton and Skate. Over 6,000 robots are imprisoned in Center's exclusion zone, a vast 100,000 square mile desert in the American Southwest. With victory secured, Center commercializes the Neurocaster, letting people split their consciousness between working in robotic drones and relaxing in a virtual dream world. During the war, Michelle's parents die in a car accident. She is led to believe Christopher also perished. Bouncing between foster homes, she ends up with Ted, a neglectful guardian only interested in government checks. Ted frequently orders goods from New 2U, a company suspiciously shipping items from the exclusion zone. One night, outside Ted's house, Michelle is startled by a robot that looks exactly like Kid Cosmo, the cartoon she and Christopher adored. Thinking it means harm, she hides, but Cosmo finds her and points to a photo of her and Christopher. When Ted wakes and calls the authorities, Michelle and Cosmo escape in his car. Cosmo reveals that he is Christopher, having survived the crash despite what a doctor told Michelle. He directs her to Tabletop Mountain in the exclusion zone to find the doctor. Remembering New 2U's shipments, she finds a P.O. box address on a package and heads there, hoping to gain entry to the zone. In New Mexico, Michelle comes across John D. Keats, a hardened ex-soldier, and Herman, a witty former construction robot running New 2U. Sneaking into Keats's truck, she and Cosmo reach his underground home inside the exclusion zone. However, Colonel Bradbury of the Robot Deactivation Task Force arrives, aiming to destroy Cosmo. Michelle commandeers a loader tractor, slamming Bradbury into a wall and collapsing a mine on his drone body, severing his Neurocaster link. Meanwhile, Skate learns Center's network is failing due to the data transfer rate dropping very fast. His scientists reveal that Christopher's consciousness escaped through a firewall. Without him, Center will eventually collapse. Skate orders Bradbury to capture Cosmo and tells him he can destroy him after Center extracts something from the robot. Bradbury, eager to destroy Cosmo, agrees after Skate tells him he will restore his drone in the exclusion zone. After losing their home, Keats and Herman decide to explore the exclusion zone. Michelle proposes teaming up. Her plan, his ride. They discover an abandoned mall occupied by robots, led by Mr. Peanut, who aims to build a robot civilization. Mr. Peanut reveals the doctor once lived there but was exiled. That night, a male robot delivers a postcard from the doctor with a new address. Impressed by Michelle and Keats' intentions, Mr. Peanut offers help. They travel to the abandoned amusement park Happyland but are attacked by scavenger robots. Falling through a trapdoor, they find Dr. Amherst's hideout. Michelle recognizes him as the doctor who told her Christopher was dead. Amherst confesses Christopher's body is at Center's Seattle campus, used to power its network. He reveals that he believed Christopher was permanently comatose after the family's car accident. They used his intelligence to connect the network of Neurocasters to the drones. One day, when Christopher awoke from his comatose state, Amherst was shocked and told Skate. But Skate threatened to kill him. Before fleeing, Amherst created a firewall loophole so Christopher's mind could escape. Bradbury arrives, finds Amherst's Center ID, and alerts Skate. To buy time, Mr. Peanut fights Bradbury but is defeated. Skate's drones attack, capturing Cosmo. Amherst asks Bradbury if it's true that he can't kill living things, and Bradbury confirms it. Amherst then declares that Bradbury will have to kill him to reach Michelle and Cosmo. Before Bradbury can respond, a drone controlled by Skate immediately executes Amherst, leaving Bradbury disgusted. Meanwhile, Bradbury shoots down a drone holding Michelle captive and urges her to go home. As the drones retreat with Cosmo, back at the mall, they find it ransacked, its robot residents slaughtered by Center's drones. Cosmo is reconnected to Center, restoring full data transfer. Bradbury confronts Skate, realizing he was manipulated into hunting a boy. Skate justifies everything, arguing progress requires sacrifice. Determined to free Christopher and shut down Center, Michelle, Keats, Herman, PC, Amherst's knowledge-storing robot, and the remaining robots head to Seattle. Keats and Herman lead a diversion while Michelle sneaks inside. Skate pilots a powerful super drone against the rebels. During battle, Bradbury, moved by Mr. Peanut's conviction, abandons his mission, revealing Skate's location before disconnecting from the network. Michelle finds Christopher comatose, and PC tells her that if she wants to speak to him, she will have to put on the Neurocaster. In the Neurocaster's virtual world, she reunites with Christopher at their childhood home watching Kid Cosmo. Christopher, racked with guilt over Center's atrocities, explains that his bond with Center is symbiotic. The network depends on him to function, just as he relies on Center's life support to stay alive. He asks Michelle to shut down his life support, ending the network and his life before Skate can exploit him for another century. Outside, Skate destroys Herman's giant body, causing Keats to fall to the ground. As a drone targets Keats, Herman's smaller form sacrifices itself to stop Keats from being shot. Inside, Mr. Peanut reaches Skate, demanding a renegotiation of the treaty. Michelle struggles with Christopher's plea, but he reminds her that she can't lose her new friends. She honors his wish, shutting down life support, collapsing Center's system, and disabling all drones. With Center offline, Keats mourns the fallen Herman, only for a tiny version of him to emerge, teasing Keats about his emotions. Together, Keats and Herman find Michelle beside Christopher's lifeless body. The world reels from losing Center's technology, but when evidence of Skate's experiments is exposed, public sentiment shifts. Skate is arrested while attempting to flee on his private jet from Miami. Michelle broadcasts a message to the world, warning that Center's actions harmed both robots and humanity. She declares that real life exists outside the Neurocaster, inviting anyone to join their new beginning. In the final scene, a dog drinks from a puddle in a junkyard. In the water's reflection, Cosmo approaches from behind, subtly suggesting that Christopher's consciousness may still linger within the robot body.